Hello my Flowly friends, welcome to this gentle Hatha slow flow which was originally filmed from one of my live sessions over on Insight Timer. We take our time with this sequence which is going to be full body but with the peak poses targeting hips so that it releases some tension. And even though this flow is of a slower pace, you will definitely still feel the full effects on your body. So enjoy! Today, so we're going to come onto our backs in constructive rest pose, so just lying down on the back and then having the knees bent but taking the feet as wide as your mat and then just letting the knees fall in together, and then just make sure that the shoulder blades just gently pressed into the mat, keeping the tops of the shoulders away from your face. And then just pop your hands out to the side, palms facing up like you would do in a Shavasana, and just start to breathe a little deeper here. And then we're just going to do a little body scan. And this little body scan is going to be a way of connecting to our bodies. So connecting the mind, the body, the breath, linking it all together. And just anchoring that attention to the body. So this little body scan is just going to notice all the areas that are in contact with the floor. So starting at your feet, so the soles of the feet will be in contact with the floor. And then just scanning up the body. The next area is probably going to be part of your glutes, back of your hips. The backs of your hands, your forearms, maybe your elbows. And noticing which parts of your back, because probably the small part of your back is probably just gently lifted off the floor. Maybe not, just depends. All our bodies are different. The parts of your shoulders that are in contact with the mat. And then your neck and your head, noticing which parts you can feel that contact. Notice any sensations that go with this contact on any part of your body, whether you can feel the coolness of the floor, maybe you can feel the air circulating around your body. And then we're just going to take our hands to our belly. You can stack your hands one on top of the other or have them side by side. Breathing deeper again, just into the belly. Feel that expansion underneath your hands. Again, another great way of just connecting body with breath. Feel that rise and fall. Feel your skin against your clothes. Or maybe it's skin against skin. Let's set a little intention for this practice today, to just take things easy, to really connect with the body And just to ease into everything, nice and steady. Focusing on the body, how we feel within each pose. And letting this nice gentle ease that we're going to carry through the practice just carry us through the rest of our week. So we're not starting the week in a hectic way. We're starting it in a nice, easy, laid back, gentle way, which is nice. It's such a fast-paced world that we live in. It's nice to do things a little differently. Just check in with your mood now. So take your awareness to your heart space. It's always nice to do this. And then just see what mood you're in. Can you notice what mood you feel like you're in today? Is there any type of emotion attached to that? And then finally, we're just looking at those thoughts, noticing if anything pops up. Take a breath in and then just trying to allow the thought to float away as you exhale. Lovely. Take a nice deep breath in, and then as you exhale, just slowly blinking open the eyes. You can let your hands just come back down by your side, palms facing down this time, and then just walk the feet in about hip distance apart. Just let the knees come hip distance apart too. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, you're just going to allow the knees to fall to the right side of your body. Just hold them there for a moment, really slowly bringing the legs back up, taking them down to the left side. Just letting that little twist in the hips as well. Inhale up, exhale, take it to the other side. Inhaling up and exhaling, sending it to the other side. Lovely, just gently waking up, just keep it going. Nice and slow, keeping the legs as loose as you can as they fall, so not worrying about what they look like or how they fall, just letting them naturally fall. Lovely, just bring your knees back to center and then just draw your knees into your chest. We're going to pop our hands behind our knees and we're just going to do one really gentle little rock up to a seat. You might just want to pull yourself back a little bit on your mat, and then we're just going to swing the legs around, making our way into that tabletop position. So knees are underneath the hips, wrists underneath those shoulders. And then we're just gently going to sway the hips from side to side. So really slowly, just moving the hips from side to side. Just take your gaze forward. So just letting the hips fall to the side and then bringing them back. So it's a real smooth, fluid movement, no kind of shunting from side to side like this. Just a really slow, like you're really like just pushing into the hip. From side to side, just keep that breath soft. Lovely. And then as you send your hips over to the right this time, just take a look over your right shoulder. Just hold it here for a moment. Take a breath in. Exhale, send it over to the left. Just take a look over your left shoulder as well. Take a breath in and then switch sides again. So hips over to the right, take a look over your right shoulder, take it to the other side. So getting a gentle little stretch in your neck as well here. Keep it going, just really steady and slow. Holding it for a moment when you get to each side. Lovely. One more time over to the left. And then bring yourself back to that tabletop position. Send that right leg out behind you, curl the toes, and then push into your heel for a little calf stretch here. So keeping your hands as they are, try and keep your torso in the same place. You're just pushing into the heel, so it's just the leg that's moving here. We're not going to do a rock or anything backwards and forwards. Just gently keep pushing, pushing, pushing into the heel. So just gradually pushing into it, feeling that stretch. Listen to your body though. If it feels like you're pushing too much, if it's not feeling comfortable, bring it back just a little. Keeping that breath nice and soft. Lovely. And then you're just going to slide the foot out to the side. So you're taking it all the way out to the side. You can bring the sole of your foot flat to the floor, and you can have a little bit of a bend in the knee if that feels more comfortable, but do try, if you can, to have your legs straight. So you're almost like a gate pose. So we're kind of like this. I'll just come to show you this way. So we're like this, like on a gate pose, but we've got the hands down in that tabletop position. Lovely. And then from here, you're just going to send your hips back. You're going to start to feel a little stretch on your inner thigh here, and then just bring it back to that tabletop position. So don't go over the wrists, that tabletop position, and then just send those hips back. Come forward. Exhale, send it back. See if you can go a little lower with the hips each time you go back. Exhale, send it back. Lovely. Let's just do a couple more. Really slow. Really feel into it here. Feel that nice stretch on your inner thigh. And you might also feel it a little bit in your left quad as well as you move backwards and forwards. Lovely. Bring yourself back to that tabletop position. Just draw your leg back in. And then send the left leg out behind you. Curl the toes. Push into your heel. So lovely calf stretch here. Well, remember, we're not rocking backwards and forwards, just gradually pushing, pushing, pushing into the heel. So opening up through your calf. Taking steady breaths. Lovely. And then we're going to slide the leg out to the left side this time. Coming into that gate variation here. Still hands in that tabletop position. And then you're going to send the hips back. Coming back to that tabletop position. Remember, don't go over the wrists. Keep the breath flowing. So exhaling as you send the hips back. Inhaling to come back up. Keeping this movement really slow. Really thinking about how it feels, where you're feeling the most kind of sensation in this pose, in this little movement. So moving really mindfully today. Lovely. And just do a couple more. Seeing if you can send the hips a little further back each time. Lovely. And then slowly just bring that knee back into your tabletop position. We're going to go into a little cat-cow now. So inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, rounding the back, chin to chest. Inhale, dropping the belly, nice and slow. Exhale, rounding the back. Push that floor away from you. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, rounding the back. Lovely. Tuck your toes here and then just send your hips back to your heels. And just let your head come in between your arms. And then just walk your hands away from you, just getting a nice stretch here underneath the arms. And then really push your heels away from you as well. So you're getting a really good toe stretch here. So as the toes are curled, you're getting a nice stretch. Keep the breath nice and soft, so making sure that you're not holding the breath. It's really easy to do in some of these small little poses or little movements. Lovely. And then untuck the toes and then just bring your forehead down, coming into your child's pose. Take a few breaths here. Allow your back just to release, that lower back. Let the forearms relax down. Let the shoulders relax. Lovely. And then when you're ready, just slowly lift the head slightly and then walk the hands over to the right side. So staying in that child's pose position. And then lower the forearms, lower your forehead down. And then feel a lovely stretch on the left side of your hip. Maybe in your lower back on that left side as well. Nice side body stretch. You can breathe into that. Feel the ribs expand as you breathe in on that left side. And then inhale, slowly walk your hands back through center, nice and slow, steady. Take them over to the left side. Forearms come down, let the head and the neck round forward. Again, feeling that lovely stretch on the right side this time. Noticing if this side is different to the other. And always an option to go a little further if you feel that you can walk your hands over a little more to the left. Lovely. Inhale, slowly walk the hands back through center. Let's take them over to the right side again. Forearms come down, let your head and your neck round forward. Keeping the breath nice and soft. Inhale, start to walk the hands back through center. Let's take it over to the left again. Exhale as you lower yourself down. And think of what you can let go of. So each time you exhale in any of these poses today, just think of something that isn't serving you right now that you can let go of. Lovely. Inhale, slowly bring yourself back to center. And then we're going to slide the hands forward and slowly make our way down onto our bellies. So just taking your time, lower the hips down. And then your hands are going to come underneath your shoulders. We're going to do a low little cobra here. So hands underneath the shoulders. Let the chin just come down to the mat. Legs are hip distance apart here, gently pushing into the tops of the feet. And then when you're ready, you're just going to inhale, lift the head, the neck, and the top of the chest. So really low little cobra here. Hold it here. Taking a few breaths. Breathe into the back of your spine, that lower back. Lovely. Exhale, slowly lower yourself down, bringing that chin down to the mat. And then on your next inhale, we're just going to bring it a little higher. So inhale, lift up. So more into a baby cobra. So that was a really low one. So a bit of a baby cobra here. Hold it there. Breathing into that spine. Lovely. Exhale, slowly, slowly roll it back down. Chin comes to the mat. And then inhale, lift the head, the neck, and the top of the chest back to that low cobra again. Hold it here. Lovely. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower down. And then we're going to tuck the toes, slowly push our way back to our tabletop position. So get your knees and your hands in the right place first. And then when you're ready, you're going to walk the hands forward. We're going to come into a puppy pose. So walking the arms forward, allowing the head to come down to the mat. So either forehead or chin, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. Allow that chest to come down, lower down. Allow your back, your spine to come down towards the mat. Gently push into the tops of the feet just to anchor you in place. Feel a lovely stretch across the top of your shoulders and underneath your armpits. Taking some breaths. Wonderful. Inhale deeply and use your hands, your arms here to just slowly bring you back to that tabletop position just for a moment. You're going to curl your toes and then lift your hips nice and high for your downward dog. So lift those hips nice and high, push the heels down towards the mat, create a nice wide base with the hands, nice strong shoulders here. Feel the backs of your legs open up and feel that strength in your shoulders. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, just slowly walking your dog out, really, really slowly. Dropping one knee, and then slowly, slowly switching to the other. You might get some clicking and popping in the ankles or the knees, maybe even your hip. Lovely. Bring it back to your downward dog here. Just hold it there for a moment. And then inhale as you look forward, but you're going to walk your feet to the center of the mat. So maybe 1 or 2 steps to the center of the mat, and then let your hands walk back towards your feet. You can have your knees bent here. So feet are still going to be about hip distance apart. If you need to have the knees bent for this forward fold, then yeah, please do so. So make it as comfortable as possible. If you can have your hands down onto the floor, that's great. If not, hands on the legs or feet just for a little bit of support. And we're just going to do a little sway from side to side. So almost like you're in your ragdoll. Just a little sway from side to side. And you can start to just slowly gain a little bit of momentum with that sway, so you can go a little quicker if that feels good. And then just bring it back to center, and then we're just gonna rock the head up and down, side to side. Remembering to keep breathing here. And then inhale as you slowly let the arms hang. We're going to roll on up to a standing to mountain pose. So just really taking your time. So the head and the neck. The last things to come up. Have your palms facing forward. Mountain pose. You're going to inhale, lift the arms up overhead, reach up nice and high. Exhale, slowly swan dive down. Let the hands come back down to the floor or your legs. And then inhale as you slowly roll yourself back up. Taking your time. Once you arrive there, inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, slowly swan dive down. Back to your forward fold. Once you arrive, we're going to inhale, slowly roll ourselves back up. And then back to that mountain pose. Just hold it there in your mountain pose, just taking a couple of breaths. And then just really feel the mat underneath your feet here. So you might just want to rock the feet backwards and forwards, maybe from side to side. Really feel the mat underneath your feet here. And then we're going to do some little mountain breaths here. So we're going to inhale as we sweep the arms out to the side, lifting them up overhead. So like you're making a big circle. Bring your hands together, palms together. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring your hands down to heart center. So that's our little movement. Inhale as we sweep the arms up overhead. You can even take your gaze up at your hands, bring the palms together. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Lovely. So we're just going to keep continuing with that. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Lovely. Keep it going. Inhale. Really reach those arms up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale. And then exhale, bring it down. One more time. Really reach out to the sides. Really reach up nice and high. Create some space between the belly and your ribs here. Take your gaze up at your hands. And then exhale. Let's slowly bring the hands down to heart center. And then bring your hands down by your sides. Palms facing forward for your mountain pose. Lovely. So you can just come to stand and face the long edge of your mat here now. And then we're just going to take the legs a little wider, a bit wider than hip distance apart. And you can just have your toes just turned in just a little bit, heels out just a tiny bit. So nothing too crazy, just a little bit here. And then we're going to inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Oh, you can have your knees bent here as well, so that might feel a little better for you. You know, sometimes when we have our legs apart, we sometimes don't feel that great. So yeah, have your knees bent if you need to. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, we're going to do a lateral stretch here. So leaning over to the left, leaning over to the right, letting the right arm just slide down your right leg. Hold it here. Taking a couple of breaths, feeling that nice lateral stretch on the left side. Lovely. Inhale, slowly bring yourself back up to center, and then exhale over to the left. Left hand slide down that left leg. Breathing into that side body. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, taking it to the other side. Really reach, reach, reach with your left hand as far as you can. Imagine you're trying to touch the wall or whatever's just in reach or just away from you in that left hand. And then inhale, slowly lift it up and then take it over to the other side. Reach, 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 reach. Keep that arm alongside your ear, keeping that chest nice and open. Lovely, and then inhale, lift both arms up. Bring your hands back down by your sides, and then you're just going to take the hands behind the back. We're going to interlace the fingers here. So making that kind of fist with your hands, and then you're just going to straighten the arms, lift the chest, squeeze those shoulder blades. So just lifting the chest up. Imagine you've got like a little light or something in the top of your chest. You're trying to shine it just in an upward direction. So a little mini back bend here as well. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, we're going to, if you haven't got a bend in the knee already, have a bend in the knee, and then we're just going to fold from the hips, folding forward, keeping those hands behind the back. Let the head and the neck just hang freely, and then just let the arms, let gravity pull the arms forward. Taking a few breaths here. Again, tune into the body. Notice where it is that you're feeling it in this pose. It might be a few different places. So back of the hamstrings, maybe on the insides of your legs. You might feel it in your lower back. Or it might be a neck and a shoulders thing as you're leaning forward. Lovely. We're going to inhale deeply now. Push into the ground as you rise on up, nice and slow and steady. And then lift that chest, that mini back bend. Squeeze the shoulder blades just nice and gently. Take a breath in. And then exhale, we're just going to take it forward again. So have that bend in the knee if you've straightened the legs. Slowly, slowly bring it forward. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Just let the hands fall forward. Let the head and the neck hang nice and free here. Breathe nice and deeply here. It's a nice one to just really breathe deeply into. Lovely. Inhale deeply now. Push into the ground as you slowly, slowly bring yourself back up to standing. Just release the hands. Wonderful. And then we're just going to step to the front of the mat. Feet about hip distance apart here. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down. Really slowly, take your time. Coming into that forward fold. And then just see if you can go a little deeper with your forward bend here. Maybe use your hands around the backs of your legs to just draw your chest a little closer. Take a breath in. Then let's come into that halfway lift. Nice flat back, so however halfway lift looks for you. Hold it here for a moment and then exhale back down to your forward fold. Lovely. From here, you're going to plant your hands and then just slowly step the right foot back. You're going to drop your back knee, untuck your toes. Just have your hands framing that front foot and then just shine your chest forward here. Take a breath. So in your low lunge, just see if you can just push the hips down a little further, just giving you that little bit of an extra stretch around that hip area, in those hip flexors. Lovely. And then you're just going to curl your back toes. So if they're not curled already, just curl your back toes under. And then keeping your hands where they are, framing that front foot, you're just going to rock backwards and forwards. So send the hips back. You can lift the toes off the floor. Inhale as you bend into your leg, just shine that chest forward. Then send it back, lift the toes if that feels good. Keep those arms where they are. So you're getting a little bit of a stretch in your back as well on the sides. The tops around near the shoulders, or that shoulder girdle as well. You're getting a nice stretch around there. Inhale, bend into the knee. Exhale, send it back. Lovely. Just do a few more of these. Flow it with the breath. Inhaling to bend into the knee. Push into the hip flexors. Exhale, release. Send the hips back. Lift the toes. Feel that stretch. Lovely. Wonderful. Bend back into your knee. You can untuck the toes if you wish. And then when you're ready, just going to bring your hands to your knees. Lift your torso up. So you come nice and upright here. Just take a moment just to find your footing. Make sure that you're nice and stable here. And then again, push into that hip flexor. Push it down towards the floor. Lovely. You're going to take your right hand now on the outside of your right knee. You're gently going to push against it. So push knee against hand, hand against knee. You're going to twist and turn to look over to that left side. And then we're going to take this left hand, we're just going to pop the palm in the lower back. So just for a little bit of support, pull this left shoulder back. Just taking your gaze over. So really gentle little twist here. Keep the breath really soft and even into your belly. Make sure you're not holding or gripping anywhere. Lovely. Slowly, slowly bring yourself back to center. And then just pop your hands down to either side of your foot. You're going to tuck your back toes and then you're going to step this right foot forward to meet your left. And then just exhale down into that forward fold. Inhale, to a halfway lift. Exhale down to a forward fold. Plant your hands and then this time you're going to send that left foot back. Drop your back knee, untucking the toes. And then just shine that chest forward. So keeping your hands to frame that front foot. Take a couple of breaths. And then just keeping the hands where they are, you're going to send those hips back, lift the toes. Inhale to bend back into the knee. We're shining that chest forward, pushing the hips down. Exhale, send the hips back. Lovely. Just keep that going, flowing it with the breath again. Each time you send the hips back, can you go back a little further? Getting a nice stretch in lots of places here. So in that shoulder girdle, on the sides of your back, that lower back, your hamstrings, your armpits. Lovely. Let's do one more. So shine the chest forward. Exhale, send it back. Lift those toes. Make it count this time. And then inhale, bring it back. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring your hands to your knees. Lift the torso up. Taking a moment just to find your low lunge. Push again back into your hips. So pushing them down, pushing into those hip flexors. Still making sure that your knee is always above the ankle. And you can always adjust your foot. So if you push into your hips and then you feel like your knee's going over the ankle, you can just move the foot forward just slightly just to compensate for that. Lovely. So then we're going to bring the left hand on the outside of that right knee. We're going to twist over to the right side. And then this left hand is going to come into the small of the back. We're going to pull this right shoulder back. Lengthen up, just taking our gaze over to that right side. Nice, gentle, supported little twist here. Lovely. Keep that breath really soft and steady here. Lovely. And then when you're ready, just slowly bring yourself back to center. Bring your hands down to frame your foot, tuck your back toes, and then we're stepping this left foot forwards to meet the right. Exhale down into that forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Nice flat back here. Exhale down into your forward fold. And then inhale, let's rise on up, taking our time, slowly, slowly letting the arms hang, letting the head hang, and then slowly rounding everything up into that mountain pose. Lovely. You can stay where you are at the front of the mat. We're just going to do a quick little tree pose just to add a little bit of balance into this little slow flow today. So have your feet about hip distance apart. We're putting all our weight into that right foot. And then we're going to bring the sole of the left foot on the inside of this leg. So you can start right down at the ankle, go up in little increments, or you can go straight into, if you know where you need to put your foot, where's good for you, then yeah, just go for that. We're going to take our gaze out ahead to a single unmoving point. And then we're just going to bring the hands to heart center. Taking some steady breaths. So remember, if you fall out of the pose, to just take a breath. Just go through the steps. Try not to look down at your feet. Try not to look down anywhere else. Just try and keep your gaze ahead. I find that that's the thing that really helps with this pose. If you're struggling with your balance, just focusing on that one little point that's not moving in front of you, even if it's just a plain wall. Just keeping that laser focus on that little spot really helps. Draw your navel in, so drawing that navel into spine, always having a strong core with any type of balance as well. Lovely, take a breath in and then exhale as we release back down. Lovely, take it to the other side. So weight onto the left foot this time. Bring the sole of the right foot on the inside of your leg. Remember, you can start at the ankle. You might stay there. You might bring it to your shin, maybe to your knee. You might stay there. That's perfectly fine. Wherever we are, we're tree posers. So bring your foot wherever it feels comfortable. Remember, we're pushing leg against foot, foot against leg. Hands at heart center. Taking those smooth, steady breaths, trying to just really find the calm within this pose. Again, thinking if there's anything that you can let go of as you exhale. We're going to start the week with ease. Lovely. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, let's slowly release everything back down. Lovely. So if you're not at the front of your mat, just come back to the front of your mat. We're going to inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive down nice and slow to that forward fold. Plant your hands here. Step back into a downward dog. And then take a breath in, and then as you exhale, lower your knees back to that tabletop position. And then when you're ready, inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. It's going into a little cat-cow again. Exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Inhale, dropping the belly. Exhale, round in the back. One more round here. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round the back. Wonderful. From here, just come to sit back on your heels, and then we're going to make our way onto our back. So you can just send your feet out in front. Slowly make your way down onto your back. Have your knees bent, feet flat to the floor here. Pop your palms down to the mat here. We're going to line that middle finger up with the back of the heel, setting ourselves up for a little bridge pose. And then when you're ready, you're just going to use your hands here. So pushing the palms into the floor, and we're going to keep them there. So we're going to inhale deeply as we lift the hips off the ground, sending them nice and high. We're not going to roll onto the shoulders. We're keeping this nice and gentle and soft. So just gently pushing the palms into the mat, just helping to push those hips a little higher. Do that little check-in with the knees and the thighs. So make sure they're not splaying out to either side. Take a lovely deep breath in, and then as you exhale, slowly, slowly round that spine back down. So upper back, middle back, lower back down to the floor. Lovely. Draw your knees into your chest here. Give them a little squeeze. Lovely. And then pop your left leg down onto the mat, foot down to the floor. So sorry, knee bent, foot to the floor. And then you're going to cross this you're going to cross the right foot over the left. So coming into our reclined pigeon here. Inhale as you draw your left knee into your chest, and then pop your hand through that little gap. We're going to grab hold of the legs, take a breath in, and then as you exhale, draw that knee a little closer. Actively push the right knee away from you. Feel that lovely stretch in your IT bands. Lower those shoulders, so make sure that they're nice and low, away from your face. Take a few breaths here. Nice deep breaths. Send that breath circulating around that right hip, right IT band. Lovely. On your next exhale, release your hands. Let your left foot come down to the floor. And then this right leg is going to cross over that left leg. So crossing all the way over. You're going to inhale, draw your knees back into your chest. And then your hands are going to slide down your legs. Grab hold of your ankles or your feet. And you're just gently going to pull the legs to either side. So coming into that reclined shoelace pose. Again, lowering those shoulders, making sure they're nice and low as you pull the legs down. You might even be able to grab hold of your toes here after a moment or so. Taking a few breaths. Notice where you're feeling the most sensation in this pose. Lovely. And then just slowly release your hands from your legs. Let your feet come down to the mat, keeping the legs crossed. And then you're just going to let the legs fall to the left side of your body. So a little reclined twist, but with the legs crossed still. Just gently open the top of your chest so it faces upward, and then just send the arms out into that T shape. You can just keep your gaze up today, maybe close down the eyes. You want to actively push the right shoulder down towards the mat. Trying to keep that chest nice and open, giving you a nice stretch around your shoulder. Lovely. Inhale as you slowly bring your knees back to center. Bring your arms down by your sides, uncross your legs, and then we're going to take that reclined pigeon to the other side. So left ankle comes over the right thigh this time. Inhale as you draw that knee into your chest. Popping your hand through that gap. Interlace your fingers around your leg. Draw your knee in. Push that left knee away from you. So actively pushing it away from you. Keep those shoulders down. A few breaths here. Lovely. One more full breath in and out. And then release your hands, let your right foot come down to the mat, and then let's send that left leg so it completely crosses over the right. Draw your knees into your chest again. Hands are going to slide down the leg, down towards the ankles and the feet. And then we're gently pulling the legs to either side of the body, coming into that reclined shoelace. Again, breathing into those legs, into the hips. Wonderful. And then just slowly release your hands from your feet. Let your feet come back down to the floor, and then let the knees fall over to that right side of your body. That chest is going to open towards the ceiling again, and then take those arms out into a T shape. Keep that gaze up. You can close your eyes for a moment. Actively push the left shoulder down towards the floor. It might be that your shoulder is already touching the floor, so it's about 50-50, I think, for people. Your shoulder's either off the floor or it's not. It doesn't matter how flexible you are. And sometimes it's 50-50 for your body as well, so one side touches and the other side doesn't. Keep the breath nice and soft here. Wonderful. Inhale as you slowly bring your knees back to center. Send the arms back down by your sides. Uncross the legs. We're going to draw the knees into the chest. Give them a squeeze here. And then just pop your feet down and then bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall apart. So this is our final resting pose today. So coming into our reclined bound angle. Allow your shoulder blades to press gently into the mat. Let those knees just fall apart, let gravity do its thing. And then just take your arms out to the sides, palms facing up, as you would in your Shavasana. We're going to take some deeper breaths into the belly. Really going to allow the body to become heavy now, fully relaxed. And just keep following your breath. When you're ready, you're just going to use your hands here. Inhale as you draw the knees back into center. Just send the legs out straight just for a moment. And then just give yourself a full body stretch here. Send the arms up overhead. Send that stretch out through your toes. Fabulous. And then nice and steady and slow, we're rolling onto our sides. And then bringing ourselves up into a nice, comfortable, cross-legged position, nice, comfortable seat. Once you arrive in your seat, just lengthen the spine as you inhale. As you exhale, just let it go, relax everything down. And then do a little check-in with your body, just paying attention to how it feels right now, noticing if there's any changes, even if they're just really small, little subtle ones. And then checking in with that mood like you did at the beginning of the practice, noticing if that's shifted. Hopefully it has. If you wasn't feeling 100%, hopefully that's shifted, your vibe, your energy level has raised. Take one final breath in now, in through the nose, nice and deep. And then exhale out through the mouth. You can sigh it out here. Blinking open the eyes. Taking a moment, taking the surroundings, just so you don't feel lightheaded or dizzy when you get up. And that brings us to the close of this little slow flow today. So I really do hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know how you got on with it. And yes, thank you all so much for being here with me this morning.